You got 6 seconds to get back.
Sorry, Blair, I should have done that.
It's all right.
That's okay. Good evening and welcome to the Foxborough Board of Appeals August 15, 2024 meeting. This meeting and the public hearings that we will be holding is being broadcast and recorded by Foxboro Cable Access. An official welcome to Blair Crane to our board. It was sort of semi-official last month, so this month is official. We look forward to working with you. The time being 7 p.m., David Clayman seeks a special permit pursuant to Section 3.1.6, Table 3-1, Table of Uses, Use L5 of the Code of the Town of Foxborough, Massachusetts, Chapter 275 Zoning, to construct a detached garage that has a footprint larger than 625 square feet and exceeds 21 feet in height. And 2, a variance under Section 4.1.1, Table 4-1, to allow the construction of the garage 15 feet from the rear yard setback where 30 feet is required. Subject property is located at 12 Creighton Lane, Foxborough, Massachusetts, in the R40 Residential and Agricultural District and Zone 2 of the Water Resource Protection Overlay District. 2 or 3 things before we turn the mic over to you. Sure. First of all, we're a board of 5 individuals. We all participate, but only Lorraine, Kurt, and I will be voting. Okay? That's number 1. Number 2, in order to approve the application, our vote has to be unanimous. So Lorraine, Kurt, and I, each of us has to vote in favor of it. And number 3, as you can tell from the hearing notice, although you only applied for a variance, a special permit is also required. And that's because you're looking for a detached garage that has a footprint in excess of 625 square feet. Okay. So why don't you introduce yourself, tell us about the garage.
My name is David Clayman, and this is my wife, Bonnie. We are moving to Foxborough to be closer to our amazing 28-year-old son, Nicholas, who currently lives in a group home on Baker Street. Nicholas is a loving child and a vibrant member of the Foxborough community. He attends Revs games. He loves going to Bass Pro Shops. He attends the musical celebrations in the center of town. He loves seeing shows at the Marilyn Rodman Performing Arts Center. But most of all, he loves Dairy Queen. Now for the not-so-good part. Our son Nicholas was born with a cerebral hemorrhage and spent the first 3 months of his life at the NICU at Boston Children's Hospital. He has cerebral palsy, epilepsy with seizures, visual impairments, a VP shunt, and a left side hemiparesis. He's able to walk with braces on both legs, but his cognitive ability is that of a young child. He has had numerous surgeries and invasive procedures. To say caring for him is difficult would be a gross understatement. He requires 24-hour day care and gets it from some amazing caregivers at his Baker Street home. We are here before you today as parents requesting a variance to build a garage suitable for Nicholas's many needs. It falls within the 30-foot rear lot setback. We need a garage and a driveway suitable for his care when we take him home. Currently, we pick him up 3 to 4 times a week and bring him home to our existing home in Canton, and for overnight stays when he is ill. While Canton might seem close to Foxborough, the trip is 2 times each time we bring him home, and it consumes about an hour and a half in the car with him. Our new home on Creighton Lane is about half a mile from him, and this will make these transitions much easier for both him and us. The proposed garage will shelter him and his caregiver from the elements while entering and exiting the vehicle. The circular driveway will allow us to access the closest point to the entrance of the home. It is not a want, it is a necessity for him. We believe the improvements we are making on the existing home and the addition of the garage are positives to the neighborhood as a whole. The way the house is currently situated, the garage falls on the left side of the actual house position, and anyone looking at the property would reasonably feel that the garage is on the side, not the rear of the lot. Detached garages in the Kersey, Creighton, and even Ridge Road neighborhoods are commonplace. Most of these detached garages are situated near or at least within 15 feet of their respective lot lines. The location of our proposed garage backs up to our neighbors on 9 Idlewild Road's detached garage, which also lies within 15 feet of what would be considered his rear lot line as well. The placement does not interfere with any neighbor's views of the reservoir. To the contrary, my neighbor at 2 Creighton Lane would be getting a far superior view of the reservoir once the single-car garage currently on the property is removed. In addition, our next-door neighbor to my right would be getting an eyesore removed. The current single garage does not meet our requirements and is in a state of disrepair with a mud floor, a cracked foundation, and is only 10 feet wide on the inside. While we are formally requesting a variance under the Americans with Disabilities Act, we feel that it should be granted on the merits of the project and the fact it not only enhances our property and suits Nicholas's needs, but enhances the entire street. We feel we have been good neighbors before we started this process, and we sent out our contact details to all of our neighbors, asking them to contact us with any questions or issues that could arise during the building process. We thank you for your consideration, and we look forward to becoming your neighbors.
All right, let us ask you a few questions. The driveway itself that you're proposing, is that going to be paved, crushed, what? Paved?
Asphalt, but I'm open to any other suggestions. We just need, he needs a surface he can walk on. He can't be stone, can't be anything like pavers or anything like that, just based on his gait, he can't do it.
Why this specific location for the garage? Why not attach it to the house or closer to the house, which would obviously be
we had
more
originally,
conducive to his ability to access your home?
listen, it would have been a better option for us if we had thought about that more in the beginning. Originally, when we went to the building department, they said we would not, it was really going to be a long process to make additions to the existing footprint of the home. So we said, you know what, we'll do it as a detached garage, and we really didn't give it that much thought until we started getting into it. We brought a proposal of a 2-car garage where the one-car garage is now. It wouldn't have been optimal, but, and then we just went back to the drawing board and came up with this design, and we pushed it as far back as we could from the lake, figuring that there would be some concerns about putting a garage near the lake.
So the criteria for a variance, there's 3 specific conditions that have to be met. There has to be something that's unique about the shape of the property, or the soil conditions, or the topography. That's condition number 1. Condition number 2 is that if we were to impose the requirements of the bylaw, meaning that if we were not to grant the variance, that would have to cause you substantial hardship. The hardship can't be personal. It has to be related to the soil conditions, topography, or shape of the property. And the third condition is that in granting the variance, we're not creating substantial detriment to the bylaw itself. So forget the last one, because we can always find that. But what about the first 2? What is unique about this property? What is unique as far as the soil conditions, topography, or shape?
Well, it's a 15,000 square foot lot, where a lot of the lots down there are old 5,000 square foot lots. The placement of the proposed garage, I think, is where it should be on the property. I mean, if you go down and actually look at the property and see where the existing 1-car garage is, it really doesn't belong there. It's 13 feet off the street. It's almost on top of where the house is. It's really, it blocks views from the neighbors behind us. As for soil conditions, I didn't really do any soil type evaluations there.
I mean, the property's not wet, correct? There's no wetlands on it.
It's the highest point on the property.
Okay, is there any ledge in the property?
None that we know of.
Okay.
But we haven't put a backhoe into the property at all.
Go ahead, guys. Questions?
Just want to, on my end, what is the square footage of the proposed garage?
32 by 22.
Okay, all right, I just want to make sure that was the
Yeah.
number, okay.
Are there any questions?
So it, just at a glance, it does look like the proposed size could potentially fit in this area where the walkway is to the existing dwelling. You had talked about looking at, putting a garage there to begin with, and so would you?
We would have tried to put it on the furthest point on the house, if it was going to be possible, but we ended up getting the permit. The house is in the process of being built.
So have you actually raised the current house?
When you say raise,
Is it been torn down?
most of it was, but it's it's back framed up.
Yeah.
The original deck is on there, but for the most part, I mean, when it started to be taken down, there was really almost nothing left. I mean, it was old 2x3 construction. Most of it was, rotting out. The house hadn't been lived in for several years. So basically, what's there, what we're putting back now is the same exact footprint, but with, we did a 2x6 wall so we can insulate it properly. I mean, we're getting a much more energy efficient house for,
I did take a drive-by, and I noticed that the footprint is the same, but are you increasing the square footage of the house? I was just kind of curious about that.
we increased it by almost 25%, correct?
24.75%.
Yeah.
He was just under the threshold.
When I drove by yesterday, the first thing I did, I called Scott, and we talked about that, and so
Beautiful
just
spot.
under,
Yeah, and I confirmed with Gil, and I kind of recall it, and both of us discussed it, and I was like, it's under that 25% threshold, so.
So if you drove down there yesterday, you kind of saw where that garage is like an eyesore almost on the street. We just wanted to be able to move it back so it's not an eyesore, and we can also, our son doesn't look down when he walks, so if you had stone, he'd probably fall. So it's got to be like, just kind of straight and flat.
Yeah.
And so that's the driver for where the proposed garage is just essentially to put it as far back as you can get it.
Well, back away from the, it's away from the water.
We thought the furthest point from the reservoir would make the most sense. Aesthetically, it's going to match the existing house that's there, basically. Same color scheme, same everything. We came down to 32 by 22. From, the original plans were 36-24, and really for what we need, we're figuring the middle bay is going to be used to get him out of the car. So that was our thinking on it.
Yeah. I think I may have seen you, I drove by this afternoon.
Oh,
I think I may have seen you this afternoon, but,
yeah, I'm on site quite a bit. If anybody,
Yeah, so-
anybody wants to walk the property with me, I have no problem. Come on down.
so again, I think when I look at this size of the proposed garage and try and overlay it
Yeah, see, this
on the
is what
existing one, you did it?
possibilities.
Oh, okay, I did it this way.
But he's increasing the, we need a variance here,
It's too close to
front
the
yard
street.
variance, because this is considered the front yard. So we need a variance there.
Because it'd be increasing it.
Yeah.
But if they're going to demolish it, if they left that the same as the existing non-conforming? Like if it went,
You have to move it back towards here,
yeah.
to get it, and still be 10 feet from there. It's doable. Well, we can talk about that.
Okay.
Did you think at all about attaching it to the house? With a breezeway or otherwise?
We wanted to get the process going, so we did what we did. Listen, if I was going to come before, I would have redesigned the entire house. and put something up a little larger, but we needed to get going on this to get over here. It's just becoming too much. It's, you know, till you have to do this, it's, you know, 4 times a week, it's back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I mean, it's,
And your son won't be living with you? He'll be
no,
still living
he's
in-
he's going to be Baker Street for,
Kurt, any questions?
And you mentioned you decreased the size.
yeah, originally we thought
Okay.
3624 would make sense, but this is pretty much
So you're
I
at
don't want to say
like,
the smallest that we could live with, but it
okay.
was,
Well, the two thoughts I had is it what, 650 or lower? They wouldn't need a
625.
625. Okay, so that's too small if you shrunk it down to 625.
Well, it'd be too small for 3 cars, I guess,
Right,
right?
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
625 is basically a 2-car garage?
Correct. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah, and the other thing is, to me, like you said, Barney, I think that, you know, the location of the proposed garage could be moved closer to the house. I guess.
my only issue with that is if you do go out there, you'll see that this proposed garage almost backs up directly to the neighbors on the left side of me. So if you move it down towards the house, you're now interfering with their sight lines and what have you.
I see.
You're-
No, okay, that makes
This
sense.
is almost
All
like
right.
hidden off in the corner.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
If you take a look, if you go walk down there, you'll see what I mean. It's almost pushed off towards the back.
Okay. So the location of the garage relative to the house is, in your opinion, that's the optimal location because you could then walk on that like impervious surface all the way to the house?
Correct.
Okay.
You mentioned that you had provided your contact information to your neighbors, and have you
Yes.
received any
I
feedback?
did. I spoke to Joel, the neighbor on 9 Idlewild. He called and thanked me for sending out the letters. He said you didn't have to do that. I texted him about this meeting. I said, if you want to come meet me at the house, I'll show you what I'm proposing, just so you're not, you know, there's no shock to it. His property is the one property that really, if you would say gets affected, his is really the only one. The people behind me, it's a positive to them. People to the right, it's a positive to them as well.
Which one is 9 Idle? I'm just trying to
It's
figure out.
on the reservoir.
Okay.
It is directly to the left when you're looking at my house. And you'll see he also has a detached garage
Okay.
right towards the front of the property where this would almost line up
Okay.
with it.
Blair, any questions?
I think I've had everything answered that was.
Scott, anything? Mank LLC,
Yeah,
that's
that's,
owned by the two of you?
that is owned by the two of
Okay.
us.
So
That's,
you're the only members?
We are the
I know
only
you're the
members.
manager, and you,
I will say, I know Scott, when I came to the office, and Gil also had that same concern. I do own a lot of property, rental property. The only reason we put it in Mank's name was I own the lot next to it, and I own the lot on the other side. So having 2 non-conforming lots under the same could pose an issue of combining them. So we did not want that to happen.
well, we'll get to that in a few minutes. Anybody in the public wish to be heard? Nobody online? Unless we have more questions, you want to close the public?
Motion to close the public hearing?
Second?
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. As I see it, the problem we have, and I understand your situation, I think aesthetically, I can understand why you would want to have it here. But in order to get to the point of saying yes, we have to say that all the criteria for a variance have been met. And I'm not aware of anything relative to soil conditions or topography that would support a variance. The property is small, but that's not a variance criteria. And there's nothing unusual about the shape. So I can't, get there. As far as substantial hardship, again, I think if the garage was situated elsewhere, and I realize your reasons for not wanting to do that, you would satisfy your needs and the requirements that must be met as far as your son, and perhaps not need a variance. For example, if this was attached to the house, you wouldn't need a variance from us, even if you were encroaching upon the setback. You would just need a special permit from us. Criteria is much different. I think, but I don't know, because I'm not a civil engineer, that the garage could be placed elsewhere on the property. Now, the fact that you also own the property that is, I guess it will be directly to the south,
Directly.
coming back from the reservoir, right underneath this, quote unquote, and I think
Correct.
you own the one in the corner also.
Correct.
As far as I can tell, the two properties are merged from a zoning standpoint, which means, if I'm correct, and I think I am,
Separate deeds.
it doesn't matter. From a zoning perspective, they're merged. So if I'm correct, and you may want to speak with an attorney, but if I'm correct in that regard, you could actually place the garage on that other lot.
I'm just curious, what makes you think that they're already merged?
Common ownership. Even though they're in different names, you have control over both properties, because you and your wife own.
We had the same thing in Sharon. I owned 164 Beach Street and 166 Beach Street, and that was not the case. But I'm not going to.
Yeah, I don't know what it is in
It's
Sharon.
not,
Yeah.
the point of my thing here today is to get a garage so we can,
So in other words, what I'm saying is I think there are other options that might be available. Okay? I'll turn it over to my colleagues. They may totally disagree with me.
So it's this piece of property you're talking about here, right?
Yeah, the better one would be, this property here.
Yeah,
Yeah, about 37.
Yep. Okay.
37? Yeah. So repositioning the proposed garage more in that direction would eliminate the need for variance.
This is something that Scott and I have talked about. We had a telephone conversation with town council, and I think he agrees with us.
How far, so how many feet? Which side is, what's the front, what's the side? I'm sorry.
Of what,
Of the 37 lot?
37?
Yeah.
It's 5,000 square feet.
Is the front on the Crichton Lane?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep,
That's the
yep.
front.
But for example, if the garage were like sort of in the middle there, or even
Yeah,
like
yeah,
over
yeah.
here,
Yeah,
straddling it.
yeah, because the proposed driveway would come,
Let's just say, for argument's sake, you put it sort of like that,
yeah, yep,
so.
yeah. I think that works.
And then in that case, could it be the 704
Or bigger, yeah.
or bigger?
Yeah.
Okay.
So then it's just a special permit.
Then it's just a special permit. Eric, do you follow what I'm saying?
I do follow what you're saying.
Blair?
yes.
Any questions on that? I guess really what I'm trying to say is I think there are other options. Or let me step back a second. Again, I don't think you've met the criteria for variance, okay? I understand, the argument of, coming under the, the ADA and the fair housing. In essence, you could say that by approving the garage, we're providing, we're not establishing, but we're meeting that criteria, meeting that requirement. But we still have to get over the fact that, from a zoning standpoint, a variance requires certain requirements. Certain criteria have to be satisfied. And if they're not satisfied, in essence, we're not, we would be allowing, by approving something that is not appropriate, is not consistent, not allowed technically under the zoning law.
well, that's what the reasonable accommodation would sort of,
Yeah, but in
The
essence.
purpose of it
Yeah,
is-
the garage is the accommodation.
Yeah.
You could look at it that way.
yeah.
But again, from my perspective, and I'm only one of, 5 people offering perspective, I think there are other options that could be looked at and considered.
Okay.
And I'm sure that Scott would be happy to, maybe not happy, yeah, Scott would be happy to talk with you about that.
I can talk to him, but I can't design it for him.
Yeah.
But I can break it down layman's terms.
Can you show him this?
Well, let's,
Okay.
Kurt, any
No,
comments?
no, no other questions, no.
Thoughts at all, or
Good argument.
Eric?
I just had a question about the existing leaching pit on
Mm-hmm.
here. Does that have to stay?
I don't know if it has to.
Where-
It passed Title V. I have a,
Because it looks like the proposed driveway just circles around that. I just wasn't sure.
also that other circle is 10 feet from it. If you,
Right,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, so it gives that a little
Relocate
buffer.
that would probably be costly.
That
Yeah, I
high,
bet,
that
yeah.
Yeah.
high water mark is probably have something to do with it
Correct.
as well.
Because he's gonna have to perk it, he's gonna have
Yeah,
to find a new location. I mean, it could
I
get
know that can
costly.
be very expensive, so. But no, I don't have any other questions.
Eric, sort of, going where you are, because of the size of the garage, it would have to have a foundation, and a foundation has to be 10 feet away from either the septic tank or the leaching pit. I was told that, the driveway itself would not, constitute that kind of concern.
Okay.
So any other thoughts? So we got an option. We can deny the variance, or we can continue the hearing, give you an opportunity to look into other options, and,
Yeah, I think that makes the most sense. I mean,
Okay.
it's just, we're not going to move into the house without having this for him. It's, the whole purpose of us moving to Foxborough is
Right.
Yeah.
something that's going to be conducive for him.
I mean, I'd like to get there,
Yeah,
but do so
yeah.
in the context of what the,
Yeah, sure.
what
Well,
the
listen,
zoning laws
if
require.
you're not comfortable with this, I mean, I will try to figure something out.
Okay.
It's-
How much time would you like? We can
30
continue it a
days.
month, we can continue
Yeah.
it 2 months?
1 month. This is top priority for us.
Okay. What's our September meeting?
September 19th.
All right, so why don't we take a motion to continue the hearing until September 19th?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, don't go away.
If you wanna talk to me,
Sure.
I'm out tomorrow.
Okay,
Monday I should be around, or just give my secretary a call,
perfect.
one of my admins.
I'm always in town, so.
Yeah, and they'll set something up. It's better if you call them.
Yep.
And schedule something, then we can sit down.
Perfect.
Can I get you to sign this?
Sure.
This will just allow us to continue within, again, with what the timeframes that are required. Okay? Great, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Diane.
Appreciate your time.
Thank you guys very much.
Okay, the time being 7:10 PM, Paul Fennell seeks 2 variances pursuant to Section 4.1.1, Table 4-1 of the Code of the Town of Foxborough, Massachusetts, Chapter 275 zoning, to, 1, allow a pre-existing non-conforming single-family residential structure to be extended or altered by the construction of an addition that will cause the structure to have a side yard setback of 13.5 feet, where 15 feet is required, and 2, to allow the construction of a detached garage 6 feet from the side yard setback where 15 feet is required. Subject property is located at 24 Adams Street, Foxborough, Massachusetts, in the R40 Residential and Agricultural District, and is not located in any restrictive overlay district. Mr. Fennell, good afternoon. Good evening.
Good evening. Thank you for having me.
The floor is yours. Tell us what you're proposing, and we'll go from there.
Awesome. Thank you. So first, we're going to amend our application. After our neighbors were notified, we spoke with them further from our original discussions, and they are uncomfortable with how close the detached garage would be to their property. So out of respect to them, we're going to remove that from our application. So we will just be going for the first part of our application of the accessory apartment or in-law. which would be on the left side of the house when you're looking at it, which is the 13.5 feet. So my wife and I, we live at 24 Adams with our two sons. One's a 2.5-year-old almost, and we just had another baby who's 2 weeks now. So we want to, apply for this accessory apartment to allow my mother-in-law to move in the house. We rely on her a lot for childcare throughout the week. She currently lives in Holbrook, and with our work schedules, it is pretty tough, commuting back and forth every day around childcare and work. So the goal is, to move her into Foxborough so she can live with us. We moved into Foxborough in 2021. We originally lived by the golf course on North High Street. Once we realized we were having another baby, we needed to expand our house. We had a 2-bedroom there. So we found our property at 24 Adams. And, we fell in love with Foxborough from the first moment we started living here. And this was a way to, stay in the town is by getting her to move into the house with us. So our request to you guys is for the variance for the setback of 13.5 feet so we can adjust the existing attached garage, just bump it out a little bit. It's currently, I believe, 625 square feet for a 2-car garage. And we have to submit the special application as well for the accessory apartment, and we just want to bump it out further so it's a 850 square feet town max, just to have the most space possible for my mother-in-law.
What are actually, I should have said at the beginning, again, there are 5 of us, even though you heard in the last hearing,
Yes.
5 of us. We all participate, only the 3 of us will be voting, and again, our vote has to be unanimous. The proposed addition itself, what are the dimensions of that?
That would be, I have it somewhere in here. I can't read it on the small. 28 feet long,
I'm sorry, 28?
28 feet long front to back, and I believe it's 30 feet wide. I think from the current garage, I think we're only going out an additional 4 feet.
It's 840 square feet.
So it'd be 28 long by 4 feet wide?
No, by 30 feet.
30 feet.
No, just the addition itself. Forget the garage.
Oh, yes,
It's 4 feet.
yes.
Okay, so what is the current setback?
20 feet.
So it brings him to 16,
So,
You're right.
right?
What's that?
So
I'm
his current setback
okay,
is 20 feet.
yes.
The addition that he's putting on is 28 feet long,
Yep.
4 feet wide,
So he'd be cutting into it, yeah.
16 feet.
It'd be about 16 feet from the
so
property.
that's what I thought going
He doesn't
into
need a
it.
variance.
I didn't think I needed one, but after talking to the person that did the survey of the land, he said with everything included in the plans, it would be 13.5. I didn't really agree with that. This.
I mean, when I drove by, it looked awful narrow. So I didn't even think
Okay.
it was 20 feet wide. But if it's only 4 feet, and again, you're not taking the garage down, you're just renovating
Correct,
it.
just
right?
pushing it out a little bit.
So
pushing the
you're
wall
putting
out
an
further.
addition on that's only going to be another 4 feet going towards your
Correct.
neighbor.
Yep. It's just a wooded.
So if you're at 16 feet, then he'll need a special permit. No, he won't need a special permit. He won't need one.
Well, yes, he would, because he's increasing the habitable space, because it's going from a garage to habitable space.
Yeah.
And I do have, this is for the special application for it, but I do need to attach the variance to the special application.
Because I think if he's gonna make the whole garage into like livable space.
Yeah, so that's-
He's gonna meet that 25% criteria. I do believe.
Yes.
You'll be close, another close one.
Well, no, you said it was what, 850?
Yeah.
850 is the max for the accessory apartment, correct?
Okay, and right now, the assessor's office has you 1132, so it's definitely more than 25%.
Yeah, so that, a special permit would be required under
Yeah, I don't think,
5.4.
yeah, I don't think he needs a variance.
Well, if you can meet the
So I'm-
if you can meet that 16-foot setback, you don't need the variance.
Yeah.
I'm pulling up the foundation plans. I'm probably incorrect on 4 feet. So this might be what he is seeing. 5 feet, 5 inches is what we have to go out? Does that bring us to the 13?
That brings you just below 15 feet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I can, provide more of this if you guys would like.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it'd be 28 by 5 feet, 5 inches. Sorry, it's just hard to see on the small.
And you're positive that setback is 20 feet now?
Yes, that's what we had on the initial mortgage plan when we moved in, the plot plan. And then with the new plot plan he drew up a month ago, that's what showed us at that 13 feet.
Scott, do you want to take a look at that? Because I'd much rather this be a special permit. And so would you.
Oh, good,
Yeah, that's,
right.
It is tough to
Magnifying
read.
glass.
Was there a discussion,
I can't read, this is so small.
design of this to reduce that
Garage.
bump out in any way? I assume there's specific reasons for why you need to go out
Found a
that
way.
additional.
Yeah, we just want to go out because it's right now the 625 and just, she's moving from her full house. We want to give her as much
Okay.
space as possible. And we know the town law on the apartment is 850 square feet.
Yeah.
So by bumping it out, we can get to that. We will not go over that.
Although in February, it's going to be
4 inches.
900.
6'4"?
6'4".
Okay.
The addition would be 6'4".
Wide?
Yes.
Yeah.
28 by 6.5.
So if it's 20 feet,
So, yeah, he's like 13.6.
Yeah. So that, so what the surveyor has is correct. It's,
I know.
it's tough to
He
get.
tried to shrink the font, at least.
Oh, he did that.
Is that three-season room currently there, or is that?
No, it is just the garage. And we talked with, our septic tank, we originally wanted to kind of put it on the back of the house, behind the garage, so we could keep our 2-car garage. But the septic tank and everything is back there, so we can't go behind the house. And on the other right side of the house, we have a pool and hot tub and patio, and our HVAC system's on the right side, so everything would be kind of a mess if we put it anywhere else.
Could you have put this addition, this extra space in back of the house? In other words, instead of over here, like over here?
I think the issue with that was where the septic tank fell.
That was the septic?
Yeah.
Do we have any marking of the septic?
No, not in
I don't
this.
see it on here.
No.
I do have,
This is it.
this is from when we moved into the house of,
show the septic.
yes.
It's probably an as-built from the planning board, Board of Health.
And this was in 2022, I believe. where we did it.
Thank you.
So this is the rear of the house here, the
Yeah.
septic tank, chamber. So
Do you have the option to, since it's no longer going to be a garage and you're going to lose the driveway, do you have the option to go closer to the street? Instead of going laterally toward the property line, to go toward the road, since it's no longer going to be a driveway there?
We might, I just know there was part of the special application was parking spaces for the accessory apartment, so I'm just not sure how much that would take up.
I mean, there's plenty of distance.
No, you were saying of pushing it out here.
He's saying
towards the street,
instead of
you know.
Yeah.
going out.
Instead of going back.
Narrow and
Going
closer to the street.
28,
Right.
so longer
Stay in
than
line.
28
Longer
then,
and narrower.
Yeah,
It keeps you away from your 20, from encroaching on the, on your
on the
boundary.
15.
yeah.
According to this, it looks like you have what, 57 feet?
With this here,
Road.
isn't there a septic, if they push out this way, aren't they gonna cover up that?
Line, yeah.
This, yeah, the septic, we've talked to the company that redid it in '22. We'll have to do some more work to expand the leach field a little bit because it will be a 4-bedroom house.
Yep.
And maybe this could be another issue with going forward, is to grade the land properly for the new leach field. He was gonna have to put a retaining wall in along the driveway.
And I was thinking of more of interrupting this pipe here, if you push it out.
The pipe that runs from the back to front.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he might very well.
He didn't, when we talked to the septic company, he didn't seem like that was an
So
issue.
presumably just be slab on grade, you're gonna extend the slab over from the garage?
So as you heard in the last, hearing, the variance criteria, some uniqueness as far as soil conditions, topography, or shape. As criteria 1, criteria 2 would be substantial hardship if we were to require adherence to the zoning bylaw. And again, that substantial hardship has to be related to the shape, topography, or soil conditions. And that's all getting to why we're talking about other options as far as, locating that 28 by 6.4 proposed addition. As Blair pointed out, if it was done in the front, you do have plenty of distance to the street. So you would not be coming close to the, to needing a variance in that regard. If you did it in the back, for example, where the porch is here, if you did it like that, I think you're far enough away from the septic tank that you're not going to be causing yourself any problems.
The only reason why we didn't discuss too as the back was, we have solar on the house, and all the solar panels and electrical are on that space in the back. So we just felt it'd be easiest to not have to move all of it. So, because the left side of that garage is just a wall. There's nothing else on there. So it would just be, easiest construction-wise. Knock the wall down, build a new foundation, and go back up.
So the solar's on the house, not on the garage roof?
Correct. Solar's on the house, but all the control panels and septic control, I think there's a septic alarm on it, I'm not totally sure. But that is all on the back side of that garage right there. Kind of where that bedroom would be on that exterior wall is where all the control panels are. So instead of having to rewire all the electrical for that.
Only solution.
And even though you don't plan on putting the proposed garage in here, is that driveway exist?
Yes, that is an
On
existing
that side?
driveway. Yep, there's 2 driveways at the property.
So would that cover any parking? It looked like this is
Right.
a long enough driveway anyways, but
Right.
Yeah.
it would help with the parking situation should you
Come
move
forward.
forward closer to the street.
Yeah.
My only concern with going forward is just size of, bedrooms and stuff, making it feel longer, skinnier, but, that's a conversation to have with, with my mother-in-law.
We won't go there.
Still not substantial hardship.
Go ahead.
I think,
No, we should probably ask him any other questions that we have.
no, I don't have any other.
I don't have any other questions.
Guys, any questions?
I do not have any.
Do you wish to be heard?
Sure.
Just tell us who you are and,
I'm Marie Ryan, I'm the neighbor. I just want to thank Paul for withdrawing.
Come to the
oh,
microphone,
yeah,
please.
I'm sorry.
I'm Anne Marie Ryan, I'm the neighbor at 20 Adams. I just want to thank you
Yeah,
for
of
withdrawing
course.
the application. That driveway right there has been a thorn in our side forever because our bedroom is right next to it. And from what, the house that we live in now, it was my grandmother's house, and she went away for a weekend years ago, and they put a driveway in. And it's been loud there for many years, and I spoke with Paul, and Paul's a new neighbor, and I hated us to start off this way, but I'm grateful that he's pulled the application. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Not a problem.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
And your address is what, 20?
20 Adams?
20 Adams? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Want to close the public portion?
Motion to close the public hearing?
Second?
Everyone in favor?
Aye.
All right, you started saying, go ahead.
So I think there's other options so, to come forward to get that full square footage potentially. So, I would not be in favor of approving the variance to go to increase the side defect there.
So in other words,
It gets very tight there.
yeah, it's tight, he hasn't really met the,
No,
Variance criteria.
No, hasn't met the criteria, no.
Kurt?
Yeah, I really am thinking the same thing. I think that, it can be done, but just has to be, rethought on how to get that done.
Eric?
Covered all my concerns, so I'm in second what Kurt says, so.
Blair?
Yeah, my thoughts similar to Kurt's. I mean, you still have a few feet there to play with, to, stay 16 feet out. So you don't necessarily have to bring it all to the front if that was the case.
Okay.
You could, try to get the best of both worlds there and, still keep your 16 feet and
Yeah.
then gain your square footage, whatever you're missing towards the front.
So,
Like you
like,
said, to
if we
try to
did-
keep it from being narrow.
We could do like 30 feet by 3 feet instead of 28 by 6 or something.
Sure,
Right.
exactly, yeah, and push out into the driveway
Yeah.
area, yeah.
Okay.
And, again, as I indicated in the last hearing, I just don't see the variance criteria being satisfied. I mean, if there was a huge pile of ledge, directly in back of your house, and the only place to place it would be here, then we have at least met the first criteria.
Okay.
Yeah, the hardship would pertain to the site conditions, not like a personal or
Right.
business condition or something, you know what I mean?
Okay.
So,
Yep.
So
Because we have other options,
Yeah.
essentially.
yeah.
the other options, let's just say he went back or to the front. He would still need a special permit because he's increasing.
He's increasing the
Habitable
habitable
area.
space.
So again, I think the better thing to do is to continue this.
True. I just have one question.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
How many parking spaces do you have currently now?
2 in the garage, which will be gone. But
Which will
there-
be gone?
There will be, we can fit, I believe, 4 at the driveway leading into the garage,
Okay.
and then 3 on
Without
that other.
adding that addition?
Correct.
So if you add that addition, would you still have that 4?
If we go forward,
Yes.
I think we'll have 3.
I think
Because
you'll solve it.
when
I'm
it-
looking, so you have, it's like kind of, it opens up as it gets
Yeah,
closer
so
to the
that's where I
house.
don't, if we go forward, I just don't know how much of that opening it will, because right now you can easily fit 2, and then 2 going up the driveway. But if we go forward, I just don't know how much of that wider space to fit 2 cars side by side.
The only reason I'm asking that, Mr. Chair, is because Diana just brought it up. In order to get a special permit granted through the planning board, he has to, accessory apartments require 2 more spots for accessory apartment.
Whether it's a one-bedroom
And
or.
whether it's a 1-bedroom or not, I mean, I don't know if there's.
But again, he's got 2 driveways.
There's 2 driveways, right?
Driveways.
Yes, so you do have 2 driveways,
Yes.
but she doesn't like that driveway.
Well,
But Widening the driveway be an option?
I think that's a septic leach field issue, because he had to talk about putting a retaining wall in since we couldn't go wider on the leach
Yeah,
field.
yeah, if he has the 4, he's good,
Yeah, all you need are 4 spaces.
yeah.
Yeah, so we would definitely have the 4.
And if you, I mean, even including, even after you put that addition on, I think, I mean.
Yeah.
It's doable.
Decent
It's
sized
definitely-
driveway, so.
Yeah,
it should-
they're-
Yeah, I think you would have 4 spaces there.
I just wanted to bring it to your attention.
Yep.
She brought it to mind, and
Yep, totally fair.
I mean, if there's 57 feet there, that's definitely 4 spaces.
Yeah.
You know, if you wait until February, you can go to 900 square feet, and the parking requirements are reduced. That's because of a change in state law.
Really?
We're going to have to change our bylaws, yes.
yes.
So we'll continue this till February.
Continuous to February 2nd,
Yeah.
2025.
February 15th, right.
I mean, my mother-in-law would love the extra square footage, but she is very antsy.
So, Diana, what, they require 2?
On the application for an accessory apartment, it says, show on the plans that there is adequate parking for the 2 additional vehicles required for the accessory apartment. In your written statement, explain how many parking spaces there are in total and where they are located, and a garage off the driveway in the backyard, etc. Further state that you understand that the planning board reserves the right to require screening for proposed parking.
Okay, but he's not going to be requiring 2 additional spaces, so, and that's their rules and regs, right? That
Right.
you're reading from?
But if he only needs 2 parking spaces right now for a 3-bedroom, he only needs 2 more, so he only needs 4 in total.
Well, he's not going to require 4 in total, so I think they could, well, I shouldn't talk about the planning board, but, yeah,
Yeah,
because he's not going to require 4.
They require
He has 2 family, and then 1 for his mother-in-law,
right,
so,
so he's only good, well,
but again,
you
I
have
think,
to show that there's adequate parking for 2 additional vehicles.
I think that the way that the regulation states is if you're applying for a special permit for an accessory apartment, you have to have proof that there are 2 extra
spaces,
spaces for parking
okay.
for that accessory apartment. I think that's how the language reads.
With 2 driveways, I don't think.
It's hard to read on a phone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
All right, well,
I don't know the calculation of that, but it sounds like you have
We-
6 on the one side,
Yeah.
including the garage. You'll lose those 2.
Yeah.
And you'd still have 4.
Yeah,
He's got 57
we could, I think we
Right.
could easily fit 2 in the existing after the in-law is done,
Yeah.
and then 2 on the opposite side. Yeah. I think we easily have 4.
so, continue it,
Yeah,
not to February.
no.
Yeah, I think the front setback in an R40 is 25 as well.
35,
Is it 35?
yeah.
35, okay.
Then, this is what, 24-7, the case number?
You have the folder.
Yes.
Yes.
24/7.
All right, want to make a motion?
Motion to continue the public hearing until
September 19th?
September 19th.
Second?
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
And can I get you to sign this, Paul?
I do have a check for Sun Chronicle.
She appreciates that.
Yeah. Is that not good for you, the 19th?
Yeah, that should be
Okay.
fine.
If there's a problem, just let us know, okay?
thank you.
Great, thank you very much.
And should I, what is my next steps now? Do I need to
Well,
come
be
back?
be
with
here
you?
on the 19th, obviously, to
Okay.
show us whatever you come up with. Or if you feel that, you're not ready, then let, Diana know. But I think the best thing would be to talk with you in the meantime.
Yeah, if you give me my admin call, they can schedule an appointment if if you need to talk to me.
Okay.
But like the chair said, you have to just try to get the redesign before then.
Yep.
And see what you can come up with, and if you have any questions, feel free to contact me.
Okay. And then if we're able to, kind of go a little bit out and then more forward where we don't need a variance, should I still come back?
You'll still
to
need a
that?
You
special
still need a
permit.
special permit,
Okay, got
so
it.
you definitely need to come back, no matter.
Yep. Okay,
You're just nullifying the variance portion of it.
got it. Okay, awesome.
Okay.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
everybody.
What do we got, minutes?
Minutes, so we didn't do, I think I didn't finish them or something last month, so I have both the June 26th and the July 18th minutes. I think I sent both out to you recently.
You want to do them both together?
Sure. I know you sent me one name correction on the July minutes. When did we do that? 119? No, that
That
was
was
in the
the
June minutes.
June.
Yeah, to fix Stephanie Kiefer's name.
Okay, anybody got any changes?
No.
Motion to
I
approve?
wasn't here for the July meeting.
Okay.
So.
Well,
Motion to approve minutes
both June and July.
from June and July.
And we all vote, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Anything?
You want to
Anything
do
else
the
from anybody?
reorganization? You're all here, you can do the
Oh,
reorganization.
reorganization, yes, we got to reorganize, and this is just Lorraine, Kurt, and me. So Kurt wants to be the chairman. I'll take a motion.
Motion to have Barney over as chairman.
And,
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
I'll have to vote for myself. We need a vice chairman. You want to do it? Or Kurt want to do it? I'll leave it up to you guys.
I was just gonna say that.
Paper, scissors.
Sure, I'll do it. Oh, that's
Okay.
fine. All right.
Clerk.
Yes.
Okay, let me make a motion that, to approve Kurt as the vice chair and Lorraine as clerk.
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Okay. Anything else?
No, there's one, well, these two continuances, obviously, but another addition over 25% on North High Street that's out there, I'm expecting soon,
For next month?
for next month.
Okay, and as I mentioned to you, Frank Spillane is working on a variance. Why don't you give him a call and tell him that we're going to have 3 other applications in September? See if he'll wait until October.
Yeah, I may not be able to make the September meeting, but I'll confirm with you this week.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Anything else?
That one that's coming in September is the one that you and I spoke about yesterday, too. Again, that's way over the 25%.
Okay. That's one on North Street, North High Street?
High Street.
Yeah, North High Street.
Wonder if it's this guy's old house.
Okay, motion to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Paul, thank you.